I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. And this is This Week
in Cruton.
It's This Week in Recruiting. Greg Powers of Next Level Athletes. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter at Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express.
People were eating it at the state barbecue championship.
That's 100% true.
And we were talking to all of them.
Yes.
Everybody loves Chicken Express.
Yes.
And
that's a certified fact.
Here's what I was going to say. That's a bona fide chicken expert sitting over there.
We leveled up, boy.
That's a certified chicken expert. He has judged chicken at the highest levels in this state. Hey, Greg Powers, you like Chicken Express?
I love Chicken Express. There's no place I'd rather go.
Dude, we just sealed the deal on this partnership.
If that's not enough for you, I can't help you. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. A lot to talk about here in this week's notebook dump on TexasFootball.com. We will start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise is 2022 Manor athlete Chainwabuko. He has picked up a pair of Power 5 offers, both from the Big Ten this week, as Michigan and Purdue. Did Purdue play basketball this year?
What?
More like don't.
Chainwabuko, if you want to go to Purdue, that's totally fine. It's a wonderful school. It's a great engineering school. He picked up offers from Purdue and Michigan this week. He's already got offers. I believe this is his second and third Power 5 offer. He had a Power 5 offer from Kansas, although I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. Pitt's in the mix as well. But also offers from Air Force and Marshall. This is a true, let's put it this way. There's no doubting the skill set and the speed and the things. It's just a matter of how you want to deploy him. This is a guy who is a track star and a big-time player on the track as well as on the football field. So keep an eye on Chainwabuko.
Yeah, definitely. And look, he put up some blistering numbers. And we talked about a guy
10.47 in the 100.
10.47 in the 100, and I think it was a 22.41 maybe?
21.44 in the 200.
21.44 in the 200. And we talked about a guy a few weeks ago in Major Everhart who may be one of the fastest guys in the entire state of Texas, and kind of put his track times out there, and he's blown up with offers, and I kind of expect this one to be next. I mean, Michigan just doesn't come after any old person. You know, they have a long, storied program. They've sent guys to the NFL. And speaking of Purdue, I mean, you brought it up. They offered him. Maybe this is a guy that can remind a lot of people of Rondell Moore. He's listed as an all-purpose back, but I like him as one of these guys who's going to split out wide to use his speed to create a lot of mismatches, especially in the slot. There's no linebacker alive who can cover a guy that's this fast.
Yeah, he's just a playmaker in the open field, and he just runs away from people. And yeah, it's funny. This is the time of year where you'll probably hear us talking more about track times because it's track season. And I know that's one thing that you talk with high school football coaches. They want all their guys running track. They want the center running track. They want the punter running track. They want everybody running track. But when you're putting up times like that, like an under 10.500 and a sub 22 200, I mean, that's speed that will play anywhere. And Manor's done a good job of getting him the ball in unique ways.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that this can be directly attributed, these offers that came in this week, to him running track, because of the numbers that he put up. You can pop on the film, and we're all watching it right now, and see what he brings to the table in the pads, but now you have verified times on the track to say, hey, the speed that you see on tape is legit.
They said his dad is an Austin legend in track.
Oh,
so
wow.
it seems like, and his brother's at Texas Tech, so it seems like this is a family
good genes.
thing here. Yeah.
Seems like there's probably some pretty good genes.
Texas Tech. Texas Tech offered this kid.
Oh, did Tech offer this kid?
No.
Oh, they should.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, that's not in the piece. So why are you lying to me? Okay, so that is Chainwabuko, our prospect on the rise. Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going out to the South Plains to talk about Lubbock Estacado offensive tackle Jihad Lateef. Jihad Lateef, 6'4", 290. The tackle has committed to Wazoo, Washington State is hauling in Jihad Lateef out of Lubbock Estacado. He's picking them over a flurry of in-state offers, including Houston, North Texas, Texas State. This is a guy who we have as the number 50 prospect in our Hot 100, a guy that I know you are awfully fond of, and a guy that you think could have a big-time future now up in Pullman.
I love and think that he's one of the most underrated recruits in the state right now. So this is a huge pickup for Washington State. This is a guy who I feel like could really play for anybody. Love what he brings to the table. He plays tackle, but I think he's versatile enough that he could slide around and move inside if need be. But he's got an extremely long wingspan, and he's pretty light on his feet for a big fella. He put in a lot of work heading into his junior year that kind of transformed him into being a guy who everybody needs to know about, to a guy who's a dude that everybody needs to offer. So I still think that there are a lot of schools that need to catch up to him. You know, he's out in Lubbock. It's not like he's off the I-20 corridor, you know, or something like that in Dallas. So there are people who are going to get a chance to see him and want to get involved in his recruitment. But I got to think the hire of Marco Regalado from here in the Dallas area coming up to Wazoo to be, you know, part of that recruiting department probably is starting to pay some dividends in the state of Texas. I'm going to guess. I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess that this is a guy that he had like the heads up on.
It would probably be surprising if they got him in spite of him. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm driving at. And so, yeah, I think that this is a guy who has an opportunity to be a real star there, up there and in Pullman, joining the Pac-12 as Jihad Lateef from Lubbock Estacado going up to Washington State. We're talking This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the next level athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag TF Today. All right, let's now matriculate over to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week is Denton Geyer, quarterback.
Not who you're used to saying.
Right.
This
will take a moment.
Yourself.
I'm going to need a moment.
Collect and breathe.
2023 quarterback Jackson Arnold, the new quarterback up there in Denton Geyer. He has picked up a pair of SEC offers this week from Arkansas and Ole Miss. He's already got offers from Michigan State, North Texas, and Tulsa. This is a guy who, if you recognize that name, if you go back to 2019 when Geyer made the title game and sadly Eli Stowers hurt his knee in that title game. Jackson Arnold was the freshman who came in to take over for Geyer. And, you know, look, I think that was an instance in which we saw the skills. I think the moment as a freshman was too big for him.
It was deer in the headlights, understandably.
I think it would be too big for a lot of guys, but this is a kid who's grown up and a kid who I think is going to be the next star there at Denton Geyer. And SEC schools are starting to notice him with Arkansas and Ole Miss coming calling.
I don't think it's like when he got put into that game, you're talking about him playing an Austin Westlake defense.
Dude,
that line.
Not only an Austin Westlake defense, but you're going in there and you've just – I mean, I don't mean to be graphic, but, like, you've just watched, like, Eli Stowers, the leader of your team, both, like, from an offensive perspective and just, like, an emotional leadership perspective, like, crumble to the ground.
You saw the injury when it happened.
Right.
There was no doubt about it. It was graphic.
Right, and it's one of those things where it's like, put aside the whether or not he's physically capable of doing it for a moment. That I think you saw the entire Geyer team kind of go, boy, howdy, like, what do we do now? I think if that's your only exposure to Jackson Arnold, you are sorely mistaken, or at least you have a very incomplete knowledge of what this kid's about.
Well, I saw him at the Elite 11, okay? So to me, he was one of, if he was either the best underclassman quarterback there or the second best, you know? So he was one of the top two guys there. Cedric Hardin from Cedar Hill is also going to be very special. But I kind of put me on the team that's like maybe with the rest of the fans at this point, because the last time I saw Jackson Arnold in person was at the state championship game. This Jackson Arnold is not that same. This kid has grown up. 6'1", 195. He's a technician. He has the arm to make all of the throws, and just kind of a leader. You always saw him stepping up throughout these drills and kind of leading the group, and I think that that's important. And it was a pretty good group. You know, you have Bo Edmonds in there, Cedric Hardin, and, of course, Jackson Arnold kind of as the top guys that were getting offers out of the class of 2023 that was at that camp from in the state of Texas. But Jackson Arnold has some very, very bright days in front of him the next 2 years under center at Denton Guyer. And really, Geyer's been on a streak here with 2022 and 2023 guys in this notebook. I mean, it's just they've been blowing up with offers. They have a lot of talent, and Geyer's one of those teams who I think that you need to just keep an eye out on every year. I mean, they're always a contender, but as they hit the reset button for this year, the young talent in that program is something to behold.
Yeah, most certainly. And this is a guy who – yeah, I think that he's going to be a name that you need to know. Like, look, Denton Guyer, I think, has established themselves as a relative powerhouse here in the DFW Metroplex. They're always going to be in contention. Being the quarterback at Denton Guyer is always going to get you attention. But if you want to be on the ground floor, get to know the name Jackson Arnold, the next big thing there for the Guyer.
They've had a lot of good ones, but I'm just telling you, from a technician's standpoint, Arnold has a chance to be the best one.
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
Really?
Eli Stowers, great intangibles, great leader. J.W. Walsh.
I was going to say Walsh. J.W. Walsh is the one that I'd push back on. And I'd be like, but you've seen him more than I have. So you're saying, because I think J.W. Walsh was a really complete quarterback there.
Right.
At Guyer. You're saying that you think that Jackson Arnold could be better than him.
From a technical standpoint, keep an eye on this kid. He has a chance to be the best one at Guyer.
Okay.
Wow. Very cool.
That's not like saying being the best Greg on this show.
Right.
I mean, like, that's a low bar. Finally, let's get to our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week going to Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill, talk about their 2022 cornerback Jalen Peoples. Jalen Peoples, he's a 3-star in Dave Campbell's Texas Football's DCGF Hot 100, ranked 59th in our Hot 100. He has narrowed it down to a top 5. 3 in-state schools make the cut. Baylor, SMU, and Texas Tech, alongside Iowa and Kansas, all making the cut for Jalen Peoples. Wherever he lands, I have a feeling he will make their fans awfully, awfully happy.
Peoples is one of those guys who brings it on the defensive side of the ball, much like a running back has to bring it on the offensive side of the ball every play. He loves to play in like man press coverage, and has a knack for making some really good plays. And he has those slender hips and flexibility that you look for, that he can turn and run down the field and hang right in a receiver's pocket. You know, that – and he's one of these guys who you feel bad that he's not a 4-star. You know what I mean? You say DCTF 3-star, and you're like, what? He's not a 4-star? What in the world? Peoples is a dude. So it's good to see 3 in-state schools make the cut. But I got to think, you know, the Cedar Hill connection at Baylor runs strong. You know,
Why is that?
They were his first offer, and they offered him twice already now. So just to catch everybody up on that, he got an offer from the old staff, and he got an offer from the new staff. So Baylor's a school that's of high interest, I think, in this recruitment.
Yes, most certainly. Keep an eye on Jalen Peoples, the Cedar Hill cornerback there. He is our recruit of the week here on Texas Football Today. Our analyst of the week and our barbecue judge of the week
Can never take it away.
is
in the
Greg.
bio.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what if Pickle goes and judges next year?
Well, I mean, then we'll both be judges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just saying he's got his portion on lock.
Okay.
It'd be great to have you as part of the, you know, the team of state champion.
I want to do ribs.
Qualified.
Honestly,
barbecue
so
judges.
here's the thing,
I wanna do
and I'll just
ribs.
produce something on the fly, What we should do is we should host like a Dave Campbell's Texas Football regional. Like we should
Oh, that
offer
would be
those
awesome.
regional.
Oh yeah, I'm game. Let's do it.
Got big plans. He's Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter. G Power Scout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter. Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com. Don't go anywhere. You're introducing the next segment, so don't leave.
Got it.
Cool.